Good afternoon again. This is Dr. Bill White with the American Orthodontic Society, and I'm going to talk to you a little more about root resorption. The case that I'm going to discuss with you today actually came in, and apparently this lady had orthodontics back when she was real small, but it had relapsed, and she had a deep bite, and the only thing I could see that would cause these two centrals to have such a tremendous amount of root resorption is that they may have been banged into by the lower anterior teeth. So we wanted to kind of open the bite and protect them and hope that we could stop the root resorption at that point. So if you'll go with me now, we'll go through this case, and I'll show you what we did to cope with this situation. She came in this way. The lower anterior, I took this Apparantly, and you can see the depth of the bite is way up on the central teeth. If you look at this closely, you see the lower anterior teeth come up to that height right there, and the upper two centrals looks like about 2/3 of the root structure is gone. I can't see it. We'll see it on some other videos here in just a minute. Now, the teeth meet together, and it's not in a class 1 relation. You can see the molars back here. It's about a little more than, the class 2 problem is a little worse on the right side than it is on the left side right here. And the bite is terribly deep in here, so we can go in and help this situation to some extent, but we go in. I'll show you what we do to protect these teeth later on, other than opening the bite and getting with an overjet and overbite and correct the class 2 problem that she has. We'll go ahead and show you that. Now, when you look at it from the cephalometric side, you can see the depth of the bite, and the lower jaw is back some, so we're going to lower these teeth and raise these and get it pretty close to level, and get this jaw to come forward enough to correct the class 1 relation, and then we're going to bond the teeth together on the lingual side so that when one tooth gets bumped, it'll be supported by 6 anteriors, upper and 6 anteriors on the lower. And this seems to hold the teeth for years to come if they'll keep these bonds strong and have to clean their teeth with the dental floss. Now, when you look at this Panrex here, you can see the resorption, the bad resorption that's in here. It's pretty bad, really. Now, the laterals seem to be pretty good. The cuspids have long roots. Down on the bottom, the lower anteriors have kind of resorbed a little bit along there, and they may be banging together on the upper teeth and causing resorption on the bottom and the top. Now, this is just my idea. I don't know what actually caused those teeth to resorb, but I'm going to assume that that is, and if we can hold these teeth steady and keep them from giving so much. I've had teeth that you put your finger on, when they close, the tooth would move, and when they open, it would move back, and it moved back and forth, and that tooth would just be going back and forth all the time, every time they chewed, and those teeth would be frequently resorbed or have some problem in there. So we're going to go in and try to correct the contact of the upper and lower anterior teeth to do that. So let's just go through the case. It's a short video. It won't take us for just a few minutes, and I think this is something that a lot of people could do. Now we're going to open the bite. You see, we've opened it quite a bit there where these lower anterior teeth used to be up in here somewhere. Now they're overjet and overbite is pretty good. The class 2 correction is still not very good. So we're going to try to move these teeth up, and I think we end up taking out the wisdom teeth because we couldn't get these uncovered back in the back, or we sent them somewhere to get the wisdom teeth out. Now here we've corrected, you can see the class 1 correction is made now. These lower molars out in front of the upper molars, and we've got a pretty good overbite and overjet in here. Now that makes a difference the way they bite together here. And then we're going to add this kind of a lingual shelf on the upper anteriors for the lower anteriors to come up against right in here. And I'll show you a picture of that in just a minute. I think this is a good thing to do in a case like that. Now let's erase those and go on. And you can see we've kind of opened the bite and flipped the jaw forward a little bit, and so the lower jaw is further out than it was to start with. This is 13 of 12. Now here the teeth are, and she's got a beautiful set of teeth, and it's a beautiful young lady. She's got some calcium deposits down there, some tartar on those teeth. It needs to be taken care of maybe a little better than she is, but from both sides it looks good, and it's class 1 now with a good overbite and overjet. And when you look at this, we went in and put a pretty heavy bar in here, and we put it below the contact, and then we put a little bit of bonding material to hold it while they bit together when they're in their heads in a good position, and they bit, and they didn't push this wire down in at all. And now we can come back and add composite to this and have them bite against it and harden it when they're biting against it. So we've got a shelf, more or less, that the person can bite against on these upper teeth, and all of them hit at the same time. Everything hits, along with the posterior teeth are hitting at the same time. These hit, and everything comes in contact right in there. And that is a very good thing. Now you have to clean in between this with these little floss thread that's kind of on a needle-like thing. You run in there and pull it through. It's hard to take care of this kind of situation, but it's good to do. And you make a shelf on the lingual of these teeth, and every time they swallow, all the teeth come in contact down there, and they all at the same time. So you don't close and hit 1 or 2 or 3 teeth. You close and all the teeth come in contact. And that's the protection that we hope will last, and they'll have to keep these bonds up the rest of their life. If something comes loose in here, they'll have to take it loose and redo it if necessary and bond this on. And those teeth will be supported by these other teeth, but then the main thing that supports it is that all of the teeth come in contact at the same time when they close together to swallow. And then chewing food, most of the time you don't really get your teeth all the way together unless you're grinding something to one side or the other, and then the other side doesn't hit. But this is a good protection for your teeth to have that contact where your jaw really wants to come together. Now let's see if we've got any other clear pictures of it. Let me see, I think I jumped a view there. Maybe not. Yeah, now we did the same thing on the bottom, but the bottom is not as critical as the upper. Now the upper, you've got to hit. The bottom doesn't hit anything, see? So you're going to chew against the bonded 3 to 3 up above, and then these teeth will touch it, and then these cusps of the lower teeth will come in contact with that. These will hit the inside, you see, and that makes everything hit at one time, and so the teeth can resist that. And I think that was one of the problems for this case, having such terrible amount of resorption on these two centrals. Now here the bond is on this. You gotta put it on there where they don't come in contact with it, and then put an excessive amount, a little more of the composite on the backs of these teeth, and have them close their teeth together and harden it in the mouth. But you can't put a whole gob of it. If you get any excess, you've got to kind of go in and trim it up and smooth it up, polish it, but don't mess with the contact points of it. And your lower front teeth are going to come up and hit this all at one time when your lower, now these are the upper, your lower cusps are going to go into this groove right here. Your lower buccal cusps are going to fit into this groove right there. And that makes everything hit at once, and that is a far better thing than what we had to start with in that case. So I think this is a good protection. We put this retainer in that keeps the teeth from going from one side or the other. It makes them hit right in there, and they finally erupt. We have nothing crossing the occlusal surface of these teeth, and those teeth come together and kind of mill in like the valves on the engine or something. They wear in like that, so that everything's hitting at the same time. And this, I'm almost certain that these teeth will last that young lady all her life if she keeps this protection in there. So they're not pushing against this tooth with very little root. It would be wiggling and moving, and then that would cause it to wear out over a period of time. Okay, let's see. Now, we made a lower retainer that fit over this bonded retainer, and that's pretty good if they wear it. I wouldn't, if they could leave this one out probably earlier, then the upper retainer would be better if they stay with it all their life. Really, it's something like that where they sleep in it at night. They might can go without it during the daytime, but I would recommend something really forever. An attractive young lady, and she's got a beautiful set of teeth, and she's in the class 1 relation, good facial profile, good height, everything. And I think that if she takes care of this, it should last her all of her life. I think so. let me see, I think this is the end of our little video here, and we've spent about 15 minutes, and this would be good to understand what we did to prevent the resorption from continuing to go and make her lose those teeth. So hopefully you'll get something out of this, and I'm going to close up now and say goodbye till next time.